Hi everyone, this is Smriti. Welcome to PY Automation classes. So today we are going to learn about how to navigate to the child elements using the CSS, right? So last class we have learned all the pattern matching starts with, ends with, and the star wildcard character, anything before and after it will match. So today there might be some cases you will see where you have to navigate from one node to another node, right? So how to do that with the help of the CSS, right? So in order to travel from the one node to another node using the CSS, we can use this greater than symbol. Okay, so when you use this greater than symbol, so it will make sure it traverses from the parent node to the child node. Okay, so how to use this? Okay, so let's see one of the example. Let's see orange HRM. You can see HRM. Okay, let's go to orange HRM. So yeah, 30-day free trial. Okay, so now if you see we are presented with a form where we have to enter this information: username, full name, business email, phone number, and country, right? So let's identify this country. Okay, so let's inspect. Okay, so now let's see this country. Okay, so if you see, country is a long list. Okay, so lot of options are there. Okay, so we have to identify this country now. Okay, so now how to identify in the country? Let's say we have to identify specific value. How would you do that, right? So here if you see, this is a select tag, right? So we'll start with the select. Okay, and then we'll say so this is the select. Okay, so after that we'll say select and class is drop down. So for class, what we used to do, so you used to give dot, right? So dot for the class. So let's say dot select dot drop down. Okay, so now drop down got identified. So from the drop down we have to find a particular option. So here if you see, there are a lot of options. Okay, I want to identify a particular option. So these are all the child element for the select. So whatever I have CSS I have designed, select dot drop down. So we have to identify the tag as select, and then it should have a class as the drop down. Okay, and now within that we have all these child elements. Let's identify one child element. Okay, so how to identify? So these are all option, right? So these are all options. So what you will write, their HTML tag, starting tag. So you have to use greater than symbol. That means it will go to the child, right? And then you will say option, right? So let's say option. So 233 are matching. Okay, we'll narrow it down. So now option. So in the option you have to give the option. Okay, so we know attribute equals to value, so we can give. So the attribute here will be, see, we can give this attribute value, right? So we can give value. So that is the attribute value equals to, but in the single quote you can give some value, whatever you want to do. Let's say Algeria. Okay, so let's give this value Algeria. Oh my god, so just put it here in between. Okay, so now if you see, the Algeria is getting highlighted. Okay, so now one more thing I want to say. So now Algeria gives a space. So here what we are going to give, we have to give the backend attributes value, not the whatever is given here. We cannot give here Algeria hyphen space, right? If you give this is a text value, it will not work. You have to give whatever attribute value we have given. So value equals to Algeria, so you have to copy this one and give it here. If you give the next value, that Algeria space, it will not work. Okay, so basically we are going to use the greater than symbol to navigate to the child element. Okay, so if you see here, I will give the example here. Okay, this is one way to do. Okay, and good, a little bigger. Okay, So this is LGT. So this is how you will navigate to the child element. Okay, so let's see some more example so that you will be clear. So let's go that data tables. Okay, I have already opened this one. So this is one of the website, and here if you see there are multiple data tables are there, example 1 and example 2. If you see there is one table, there is another table, exactly same table, right? Two times it is there. Okay, so now if we have to identify a particular email, let's say email field you want to identify, how do you do that, right? So let's go and inspect. Okay, yeah, so let's say inspect here. Okay, so now let's say I'll identify the that table. Wait, last name. Okay, let's go here. From here we can go, so here. Okay, so if you see the table, the entire table is identified here. Okay, so now I have to identify the email column, right? So how to do that? So control F. So first it's say it starts with the table, right? So you give the tag as table. Okay, so it will identify the table. After identifying the table, we have the table ID, or we have the class. Anything you can give. You can give hash table1, or you can give the table sort order. Let's go with the class. Okay, why I'm going with the class, I'll tell you shortly. So table sorter. So now if you see there are two tables with this class. Okay, so if you see table sorter, and there will be one more, you can expand this one. See, this is one more table sorter. There are two tables here, right? So this is the first example 2 and example 1, both the table class name is same, table sorter. Okay, so now if you do like this, so both the tables are getting identified. But till now also it is okay. Let's go further. Okay, our intention is to identify the email, right? So now after table, what we see, right? So after identifying the table, we have to see the next tag is the t head. Okay, because this is a header row. Within the header row we have the email, so we have to go to the t head. How to go to the t head? So you can give greater than and then go to t head. Okay, so now I'm in t head. Okay, so after going to the t head, so this is the first record. Okay, t r. So now I can give the greater than symbol and go to the tr. Okay, greater than tr. Okay, so till now we already came to the tr. Okay, the first header row. Okay, within that we have multiple th, right? This is one th, this is another th, this is another th, right? So what th we need? So th 1 2 3. Okay, so now after the tr we can say th, right? So let's go to th. Okay, so see, now we are here. Okay, so th class equals to header. Okay, and if I say span, okay, because after that spans are there, right? So 12 spans are there. See, so within the span we have last name, right? And then first name. This is also inside another span here, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 for table 1, again for table 2 there are 6 more. Okay, so the if you write such a css, it will identify so 6